concrete, when there's soil underneath the concrete, but this is a rose that grows underneath all the unnecessary stuff that's going on. So we're trying to strengthen our environment. We're trying to make where we come from, how we live, the decisions that we made in the past, we're trying to make them better. We're actually trying to rectify them and make sure that the things that people think about us is not our past, but what we're doing right now.
All right, Caleb, so after searching for the right partner that would be able to produce the quality and the quantity of designs that y'all wanted, tell me, who'd you end up with?
Well, we ended up working with Kent, man. He was excited like us. He was for us, man. He had some good things going on. We got able to see his facility and how they did things, and we really liked it. The guys told me about it, and it was something. So we chose Kent. He works at Silver Eagle, and he was a great guy. He was a great guy. He was excited like we were excited, so he was good working with.
That's good.
Welcome to Silver Eagle. We're a screen print and embroidery manufacturer. We don't manufacture garments, we just decorate. Okay, so once the art is prepped, it's put on the hard drive out over here and he can pull it up on here. You got a screen for every color in your design. So you guys have been talking about doing black and all this other, but you know, if you've got a black, red, blue, green, you have a separate screen for every one of those. We've had this about 1.5 years. It's called an eye image. So this speeds up our process a lot and it gives it a lot better print. This is a digital, basically it's an oversized inkjet printer. You guys were asking about how many screens you have, and like I said, there's one for every color. You can see that every image on these screens, these 4 right here all go together. It puts together the one image, and it looks like they've got, they've got some sponsor logos and things like that they're going to use on there. So again, all of this is just wet ink. It's all oil-based inks, okay? You can use water-based inks, but those have to be kept in a better environment. They have to be closed because they will dry out.
What's the difference between the water-based and the oil-based?
Good question. The water-based is more expensive because it does slow down the process. The man that stands here, when they come around, the shirt's complete. It's been printed by all the heads that it needs to be printed by. He has to pick up the shirts, pull them out, turn around, lay it on this without getting the shirt bunched up, because this is all wet ink. You got to remember when he's pulling them off, they got to go through here. Part of what you guys are paying for when you place your order is you're paying for labor. Depending on what kind of ink, you asked about different inks. If it is an oil-based ink, it's usually set at about 400 degrees, and they can run this thing pretty fast because that oil dries a lot faster. If it's a water-based ink, they have to slow this thing down. So the belt runs slower, and they have to turn the heat down because it'll burn. If this is done with a full crew, it's going to take 3 people to run the job. You're going to have one guy that's standing over here on this pad. He'll bring this over to him, and he'll be loading the shirts right here on each plat. And they'll spin around, he puts his shirt on, spins around, he puts another shirt on. Takes a little bit of skill because you got to get them straight, which that doesn't sound like a tricky job, but they spray adhesive tack. If you feel that, it's real tacky. It's basically glue. Spray adhesive they put on there holds the shirt in place so that as it goes around to the different stations and gets smeared with ink, it holds that shirt in place. That's how you keep your registration, so that things aren't going over your letters or anything, and it's all where it's supposed to be. So he kind of has to pull it up and pull out at the same time, but he can't pop it, because if he pops it, all that ink is wet. It goes together, that's a ruined shirt. It ends up in this pile down here. If they're running it at a pretty good pace, you're not just catching shirts and laying them on the table, you're having to count. Because when you place an order and you say, I need 36 small, how many small do you expect me to give you? 36, okay? If you open the box and you're like, I only got 34. Well, I got ordered, Kent, I got orders for 2 more, what am I gonna do? I don't know, what are you gonna do? I've got to print more. But that's why the people back here, they stand on this side, they got boxes over here. They've got to be on their toes, and they have to know what size they're on. They have to be able to count in dozens and put them in the box. And usually they'll have a little piece of paper, a little scratch pad, so they can mark off medium, and they'll just put hash marks so they know how many dozen they put in the box.
Every new startup business has some really tough decisions to make, really around how are you going to allocate your startup resource. And so y'all are under some pressure. Tell me about what y'all are trying to make decisions around.
Yes, we are under a lot of pressure, but by the grace of God, we're gonna be able to do this. We're trying to get different stuff, you know, brand out how many products. That we should start off with sweaters, we should start off with phone cases. So we're really trying to get this stuff under. It's a lot of pressure being your first business and all.
Thanks you and Charlie coming in today. I just wanted to talk to you about the hoodie project that you had mentioned to me and that we've been talking about. Tell me a little bit about that. What's it called and what's the basis for it?
Okay, we EME. We from South End District, you know what I'm saying? It's Zone 6. And what we're doing is we're putting an apparel company together. And we're trying to basically use the apparel company to help give back to our community. So we take a percentage out of the garments that we put out, and we give it and put it into the small businesses in our neighborhood that we come up with. And that's basically what we're doing. And then we reached out to you basically to see what kind of deals we can come up with on our hoodies, on our garments,
okay,
and see what you had going on here.
So if I understand you correctly, you guys are gonna, I don't know if you're gonna take pre-orders or how you're gonna do that, but you do hope to make a profit out of it, not just for yourselves, but also to feed into the community as well and give back. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you guys picked a Champion hoodie,
Correct.
which is super nice, very nice. I mean, it's a high-end garment.
Right.
But we've talked about too, having lots of different print locations,
Right.
both sleeves. I can't remember if it's the front chest or left chest, and then even a back print.
Correct.
So after we've walked through the plant and you guys have seen, how much labor goes into that. And the fact that each location is a separate run. So
Right.
you're paying, a lot of labor there and time. The Gildan, I'm thinking, you know what? The price point for that shirt is so much better than this Champion. You can almost get the Gildan printed with the 4 locations, say at 144 pieces. You can get that one printed almost for what the blank one for Champion costs. There's that much difference in the cost between the two. There's so many platforms now that are available for online stores. We have one that directly links into our accounting package and our order system, so it's pretty fluid. And basically we get together, and once we get it out there, I send you a link. You guys can kind of review the products, make sure the pricing is correct, and then once you're ready, then it's your job to promote the link.
A lot of people don't like going to the store first, so we have to be able to kill that problem too, which means we have to have physical. You feel what I'm saying?
If it were me and there was no way around it, I would try and get at least 6 to 12 pieces and then order them from that. To your point, you said our people like to see it and touch it.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do if that was the case.
Right. All right, Mr. Ken, if you had like any advice for us today on like what we came in here and proposed to you, what route you think we should take?
Well, now that you've seen kind of how everything works and how the costs are compiled and what goes into making a garment, really, you guys just have to consider your group. Are we going to go with a really high-end garment that costs a lot? And what can we sell it for? Or do we go with something that, again, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's a less expensive garment.
Right.
It's not as fashionable, if you want to call it that.
Right.
The name recognition is not, you've got Champion versus a Gildan, and some people will be like, I don't even know what a Gildan is.
Right.
Even though they're the largest, t-shirt manufacturer in the world. But they might know Champion. And you guys, you guys seem to be pretty sensitive to the name recognition part. So you guys have to decide what price point you're comfortable
I want
with
the same
trying to sell
material
them.
as Champion.
I'm sure.
That's what I want.
There are others that are in between. Let's just say that, and those are things that we can explore as well. There are garments in between the Champion and the Gildan.
Right.
So I would think, if I'm you guys, I would say, we got to come up, what is a price point that we're comfortable that if we push this out, we could sell this garment for?
We want to thank y'all for tuning in. We finally got our team, we got Kent. So next time you guys see us, we're going to be revealing to y'all the final design.
Unity with every side.
Yeah, I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Right now, we just want to put the logo on their face. That's why our first sweater is kind of flashy. It's a lot on there, but we just want the people to see our logo. We want to put it in their face. Hey, we here. You know what I'm saying? Some of our other designs might be a less flashier, but we just putting people on notice we here.